Okay, back to poker chip theory on scale construction. This is a simple layout. This probably resembles something like you might see on a piano keyboard, where if this note was like a C, and you'd move up and have your C sharp D, D sharp E, F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B. Um, for this example, let's just not worry so much about the key signature, but this shows that between any octave on a keyboard, between this C and the theoretical C that would be up here, there are only 12 notes, or 12 chips. You can count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sort of notes in all of music. Okay, so these are our 12 poker chips representing the notes. Clearly in this example, the white chips represent white keys and the blue chips represent black keys. Okay. Now we know that between any two chips, between this chip and this chip, is the smallest interval known in music, which is a half step, or it's also called a semitone. So between C and C sharp is a half step. And again, since it's going up a half step, in sheet music you'd see a sharp because it raises the C to the C sharp. Alternatively, if we're going this direction from the D to this same chip, you see a flat, and it would lower at this half step interval to the same key as a C sharp, but it would be called D flat because it's going in a downward direction. So to raise it, you have a sharp from C to C sharp, and to lower it, you have from D to D flat. And you can see that it's the same pitch, the same chip that you're landing on. And it's the different name depending on the musical context for that same chip, whether it's a D flat or a C sharp. Anyways, the point is the smallest interval is a half step. Now, anyone knows that two halves make a whole. So when you have two half steps, you equal one whole step. So to get from C to D, you add the half step from C to C sharp and the half step from C sharp to D. Two halves make a whole. So this is what's called a whole step. Alternatively, from this note to this note, you have two half steps. So that is a whole step. One half here and one half here. So from C sharp to D sharp is a whole step. Now you can see that between, I'm going to go ahead and throw another C up here. Between any octave, there are how many intervals? How many half steps? You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see there's no intermediate chip here. So between this note and this note is a half step. This would be the E and the F. There's a half step there only. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And again here between the B and the C, there's no blue chip, so you have another half step here for your 12th half step. So you know that between any octave, C and C, there are only 12 half steps. So if you wanted to know the difference, the distance between this note, the C, and like the fifth, the G of the scale, you can simply count the half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there are 7 semitones between C and G going up. And because you know that there's only 12 total, you know that from C coming down to G, there's 5 because they will add up to 12. So when you take 7 up, you have 5 down to the same pitch. So you can count those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to your G. So from C to G is 7 going up, and from C to G below is 5 down because it always equals 12 semitones. Another example would be like this pitch here, the E flat, has 1, 2, 3 half steps to reach it going up, which is a minor third. And if you wanted to reach from this C down to E flat, you're going to have 9 half steps because there's 3 going up, there will be 9 coming down. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 indeed. So they always equal 12. And that's how you can arrive at intervals and distances between two notes. Also, the formula for a major scale is easily shown with a C major scale because it's a whole step, a whole step, a half step, a whole step, a whole step, a whole step, and then a half step. So it's easy to see where those are. The whole steps have a blue chip intermediate, so there's a half step between them, 2 halves. And these only have 1 half when there's no blue chip in between. So you have a whole step, half, whole, 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 half. And that's the formula for all the major scales.